Hello divers, I'm Lucy if you're new, and on this channel I talk about God and Christianity and things like that. And if you are non-Christian, then please don't turn off, because I do aim this channel at non-believers, because I know plenty of people that say to me, Lucy, I would become a Christian, like I would follow it, but how do you believe in a God that you can't see, you can't feel? You can feel, but that's complicated, that's another story. But yeah, so I just try and explain it so you can make your own decision and come to your own conclusion. So in this video we're going to be talking about how, where, why, when should I become a Christian. And because I know a lot of people, not even people that I know, when it comes to the new year, after Christmas, after the new year, new beginnings, things like that, you start to think, is there something more? Like, is Christianity a thing? And so if you are thinking that, if you're thinking I want to become a Christian, if you're thinking I want to become a Christian but not yet, I just want to test it out and things like that, then I'm going to give you a bit of advice of what to do, where to go. So my first point of advice would be going to church and actually trying it out, testing it out. Even if you've never been to church, like most churches are accepting in the fact that and welcoming with new people. And yeah, so if you are wanting to become a Christian, like that's the first point of call you'd go to. Or if you know a Christian friend, like asking them to take you to church the first time. But definitely getting yourself into a church, like listening to the preachers, the worship, the things that they're doing throughout the week, and getting involved so you can test it out, see what it's like, see if you start to feel God, and see him in places, see him at work. That'd be the first thing you do. And then getting some people around you, and not just like, I know stereotypically it's like getting people around you and praying, but I wouldn't go that far if you're not confident in it yet. I'd say I know a friend that like two friends, one of them was a Christian, one of them wasn't, and literally what hours on end they would just literally sit there and debate, and sometimes they just had to stop it because it gets so out of hand. Like it'd go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, like what about this, what about this, what about this, what about that, what about this. Yeah, so not just like praying because you haven't become a Christian yet, you don't know if you want to become a Christian yet, but actually getting people around you that are willing to debate with you and ask you questions and answer questions, so you can weigh it up. But and also not talking to the same people, because people have different views. Like my views are very, very different to my mum's views, and my mum's views are very, very different to my pastor's views, and my pastor's views are very different to my youth leader's views, and my youth leader's views are very different to my godfather's views. Like it's the same story, the same person we're all following, but the views and the opinions that we have about these stories in the Bible are very different. So make sure you get around some people that you can debate with and ask questions, and make sure it's different people so that you can weigh up what you think, and if you want to follow it. Following on from that, that what I forgot to say is one word I put down when I was planning is invest. And even for Christians this is a massive thing, because I know some Christians that don't invest in friendships in the church, don't invest in friendships in like the youth, in their community. And this is so key, because Jesus hasn't made us to be alone. Jesus has made us to be together and live together, and you always hear that in relationships, but that's not just for relationships, it's for reading through the Bible. He wants us to read through the Bible and dig it through together. So making sure you invest, even if people invite you out for coffee, or if there's a Bible group on, like invest in those friendships and invest in the time that they're giving you, and use that to actually weigh up if you want this, what people are talking about. So my third bit of advice would be to ask for personal stories where Jesus has helped people, because this can be so like mind-blowing for you. That might be the way you decide, and some stories that you hear can be very, very what do you call it, very personal and very mind-blowing actually. So yeah, I think that could be an important trigger. And yeah, just ask Christians for personal stories. If you want to ask me, feel free. I am going to tell you 3 examples of how he's put, how I know he's real and seen his power. Yeah, but if you want to ask me on Instagram, like, more mind-blowing stories, because there's so many mind-blowing stories that I can't remember all of them, like, off the top of my head, and I've only written down 3. But if you want to hear more, then feel free to message me, and I'll feel free to give you some more Jesus stories. But yeah, so the first mind-blowing story from me is that he saved me and my family from 2 house fires. And I've just thought of one. It's not like he saved us from anything, but it's actually mind-blowing, the fact that how much me and my family travel, we've never ever been in a car crash. Another one is quite recently, and a lot of you might know, because if you're a regular watcher, then I passed all 9 of my exams despite the circumstances. If you want to know more about that, I'm not going to go into that. But if you want to know more of it, then please message me. I'll feel free to let you know. And then the last one is just carry on providing. Like, Jesus is always right. It might not seem it in the waiting time, but when your waiting's over, it's like, oh yeah, get you now. And another one that I've just thought of is when I was in year 7 and year 8. I used to be it wasn't really that much of a rebel group, but because there was nothing really to do in our town, we used to just go out drinking on the streets, and this was like nearly every weekend of year 7 and year 8. But he completely transformed me. Like, people that know me now would think, who even are you? Like, if I told them that. When I tell people that I've met recently that I used to be like that, they are mind blown, because I'm so different. And that is a major one for me, because I just can't. It's like 2 different people, year 7 and year 8 and year 9 onwards. So yeah, that is a mind blowing one for me, because I just don't know how Jesus does it. Like, I could have done that on my own, because it literally changed. I literally changed over the summer, from drunkard every weekend to a loving, I actually care about you person. Yeah, so that's another one. So if you are at that stage where you've done all that, what I've told you, or if you've done it a different way and you're like, yeah, I want to become a Christian, then all you need to do is just repent and say, God, look, I'm sorry for this, I'm sorry for this, and then just get baptised and follow him, follow his teachings, and receive his love. Just do it, go for it. Make sure you're in a church, because that really helps with your Christian walk. I don't know what I'd do without my support network. Get your Christian peeps around you and do it, go for it. I'll be right behind you. Give me a message and I'll be praying for you. But yeah, I think they're knocking at the door, but I actually don't have the key, so yeah, so I'll be praying for you guys if you want to become a Christian. And yeah, that's the end of this video. So if you like what you see, please go and check out all the other videos, because they're very similar. And yeah, please share with friends and family and subscribe, because #SaveThisNation.